Hello, and welcome to my studio. I feel like it's been about approximately exactly 1 week since we've been here, and that's cool, I guess. Time marches forward, and my phone is not on vibrate, which is unfortunate. Okay, cool. Is there anything else for me to say? I don't think so. Can you guys see? Hold on. This is probably gonna be dumb. Nah, I'm never gonna be able to do it though. If you look above my bathroom door. Hold on. This is so fucking hard. There. It's a license plate that says Nick. And my friend Phil gave it to me. So thank you, Phil, for that license plate. I finally found a good place for it. That's where I decided. Where I decided to put that. And I hope that you're not disappointed in me for any reason regarding the license plate or anything else. Thank you, Philip Clark, for the license plate. I love you. Let's listen to some music now. Oh, actually, another thing I was going to do. We'll get a song up, but I'm going to rearrange the stuff over like this. Like this stuff. Yeah. I want to make it smaller. I feel like it's taking up a lot of real estate on the screen. So we're gonna not do it that way. Also, what happened to my wave or my Jesus, I'm a mess. I'm glad that you guys accept me for who I am because I'm who I am. And I can't seem to change that at this point in my life. Anyway, okay, let's have a listen. This song is called Get Nasty, and I already kind of have an idea of what it's going to sound like, and maybe I'm wrong. Let's have a listen to Sawyer, Get Nasty.
Hello, Mr. Nick Fowler. This is not finished yet. I'm experimenting at the moment with new genre. Very cool. If you don't like it, which you probably might not, you might be a little bit too old for it. That's okay, though. See how you go.
Excuse me?
If you don't like it, which you probably might not, you might be a little bit too old for it. That's okay, though.
I only have one response to that.
I'm just old school.
That's all I got to say. Anyway, let's keep going.
If you don't like it, which you probably might not, you might be a little bit too old for it. That's okay, though. See how you go. Hope you enjoy, man. Thank you.
Hey, Sawyer?
Nasty, when my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak. I just wanna freak get nasty, when my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty, when my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty, when my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty, when my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat.
that the Taco Bell sound? Which is just a DX7 Bell synth. Anyway, wow. That was an adventure. I don't know what to say.
See, when my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the
This part is sick. So, okay, I get it. Like, there's like a style thing going on here that I'm too old for, apparently, allegedly.
I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the front and the boys in the boys in the I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the front and the boys in the
That it's sick. I appreciate how pure and unadulterated the other section is. I get it. I appreciate it. I would not probably listen to those sections more than I would have to because it's very distorted and it's an acquired taste. I do appreciate it though. I like this it almost sounds like a throwback to like early 2000s, like the Six Flags song. It's probably offensive to people that make hardstyle. But I like a lot about this. I can't get behind. Like what I would do, and this is irrelevant because this is me and not you, but what I would do is I would try to bring that style a little bit more into the, I don't want to say mainstream, but anyway, I'm not even going to suggest this because I know you don't want to do that and you're not going to do that. And that's a waste of words for me to say, but that's what I would do. Because I like how aggressive and ridiculous this section is, but it's like, there's no transient to like, there's all these like things that I have an issue with it, but that's what makes it the way that it is. So, but I think it's sick. And I also think that you are making huge strides in your production style, even though I may or may not understand or enjoy these sections. I like enjoy it in like an entertainment way, but like it doesn't make me want to rave because it's missing that fucking the kick. It just sounds like it just sounds like a square wave. But anyway, whatever. It sounds great. I really like the arrangement, what you've done. I think it's great. I'm just not a massive fan of the extremely distorted sound.
in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the front and the boys in the
I almost got a free acapella, but you chopped it up.
I just wanna freak get nasty. I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the front and the boys. I just wanna freak get nasty. When my girls in the front and the boys in the
Yeah, I think you're making huge strides in your production though, because I remember the stuff that you sent even 2 months ago. This is miles above what you were doing a couple months ago. So good job on that. Fuck you for calling me old. So we'll just get that out of the way. I'm not that old. I'm just getting old. I'm not there yet. I think I have a solid 3 or 4 years left before I crumble into a mess. And I'm going to enjoy those 2 or 3 years, even when people like you call me old. I wonder what this would sound like if I did this. Let's find out.
freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the boys in the. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. The boys in the. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the.
Getting old is a privilege. Yeah, I sure.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just.
Damn, hold on. Let's just spend a second on this.
I just wanna freak it. I just wanna freak get nasty. I just wanna freak it. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my.
Oh, we're almost at 69 beats per minute.
I
What?
just wanna freak get nasty with my
Twice that. Let's try 130. And then we'll ignore music because I'm gonna end up doing like 8.5 semitones. That looks approximately maybe correct.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat.
It feels so slow, but it's still 130.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and
Needs to be a little faster.
I just wanna freak
Okay. All right, here we go. Fuck.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat.
Okay.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty.
Oh, I kind of missed the transient of this.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the
Okay. I still can't believe this is 130 beats per minute. It sounds so slow. Let's just fucking grab like anything. Sure, we're gonna go with this one.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get.
I like that kick drum, but the first one, the transient's messed up on it.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty.
Let's just make a new transient. Fuck it. And then we need like the dirtiest clap.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the.
Oh, let's do B B B B B B B B. Ew, that's disgusting.
I just wanna.
But what about just like the very first of it, maybe? Let's try that.
I just wanna freak get nasty.
Oh no.
I just wanna freak get nasty. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls.
Sure. Girth. Yeah, it's kind of a girthquakey kind of thingy.
I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty.
Okay, now what? Oh fuck! What happens after? Fuck! There we go. What happens over here
I
now?
just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the boys in the. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the backseat. I just wanna freak get nasty with my girls in the front and the boys in the boys in the backseat. I just wanna.
Anyway, whatever. It was cool. My final thoughts are it's a cool track. I still don't really fully get behind the super ultra mega distorted thing, but I appreciate it. Keep going. Well done. All right, let's move on. We got 10 to 2, 10 to 2, flawless. At some point, perhaps 10 to 2 can put a little dialogue sample in there telling me how to pronounce your name. That would be helpful. All right, let's go. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not doing mastering stuff here by accident. It appears that I am not. We'll just click bypass to be safe. Okay. Wow, what a big difference. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the chord progression for a sec. The chord progression is not bad, but I feel like I'm being led through a maze by my hand, and I'm not necessarily sure which direction this person that's leading me through the maze is going to take me. The chords all musically work together. It might just be a combination of the melody and the chord progression. There's something about this that just feels a little arbitrary. Let's go back and, this seems like it's just doubled up, or maybe even tripled up. I think what it is that the first part of the chord progression sound. I'm having a hard time verbalizing what I'm thinking, but the chords they don't flow well into each other. They just kind of play chords, and they're not wrong chords. There's nothing wrong with the chords. It's just the way that it's just the way that they go into each other. It's almost like there's no predictability, or not. No, that's a strong word. There's very little predictability. What's up, Matt? I think actually if I narrow it down, I think it's resolving too early. So if you listen to the way that it resolves on this chord, I almost feel like there should be another chord before this chord. Like this chord should be the last, which I think it's still playing that chord. Yeah, it kind of feels like it resolves too soon or something. There's something about the way that it's resolving and flowing back into itself that just feels a little clunky. So like this first section, I don't have any issues with the chord structure there at all. And the more that we go through and the more that I get used to it, I get it a bit more, and it doesn't seem as arbitrary as it did at the start. Let's go back to the start for a sec. Oh, okay. So first of all, this sounds like the second chord because of this first thing here. So that was a little confusing right off the top. Okay, so we start on this chord. Oops. Okay, so don't necessarily have any issues with the chords in this section. It might also be that the melody that's being played kind of feels a little robotic. It kind of feels like you made it on a step sequencer. I know that you didn't, but it kind of has that feel like you're like picking eighth notes. Like, oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and I'll do that eighth note, and I'll throw this eighth note in. It's a little robotic. So maybe if I don't really have any sort of actionable advice to give on that, but I do feel like the phrasing of the melody and that chord resolving too early, when you put those two things together, it feels a little, I think arbitrary is the best word. And then it gets better when we get into it. I mean, like, I think that's the best I can do for advice. Now, I will say in terms of sound design, the synth string thing on top of the piano, it just reminds me a little bit too much. If you rely on this guy, I feel bad for you. I don't know what that means. But yeah, if the synthy string thing is a little bit too like generic MIDI sounding, for like almost like it came off of like a keyboard or something. I think this track could benefit. I mean, like it there's some good stuff in here. There's definitely some there are some good melodies once we get into it, but I think at the start it was just there's so much space between the chords and so much space between the little riffs that are happening in the melody. So I don't know. I would start by taking that second to last chord and pushing it over and having an intermediate chord that leads us to that resolve as opposed to just resolving immediately. And let's see what's at the end. Nice. I like the ending. Okay. That's what I got for that one. I think it's it has some beauty to it, but it has some imperfections. Okay, let's move on. Track 17 by Cryo Test. I don't know why I say cryo, but anyway, let's have a listen. Dude, that was great. This moment, I just felt like $1 million. I feel like somebody picked me up and is swinging me around in circles with love in their eyes. That's what this moment makes me feel like. And I'm wearing a dress and I look really pretty. In a meadow, yes, in a meadow, and there's petals, flower petals falling from the sky inexplicably. Nobody knows where they're coming from. And it's in it's not half like slow motion, like 50%. It's like 69%. And it keeps cross-fading between the other person's face and my face, and we're both smiling and we're all like crying a little bit. Anyway, yeah, this is wonderful. It sounded a little derivative. I feel like I've heard this. Have I heard that before? I don't know. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying you're ripping anybody off by any means. I just feel like I've heard that motif somewhere, some point in my life. I'm not sure. The only thing I can say is that you keep spinning faster until you dream of becoming an Apache attack. The two of us become propellers. Anyway, the only thing I will say is that the dynamics are fucking wild. Like, this is... like, the difference between this and this is about 100 billion, 1,000 million %. So maybe you could either ride a fader. I don't know. You could automate something, you know, do a little something with the automation. I'm just spitballing here. I think that for most practical applications, yes, dynamics are great, especially in this style of music. But I think that the dynamics in this are just a little extreme. Okay, thanks. I have love in my heart. Thank you. All right. Oh, and now we're gonna listen to Zed Clarity. Are you kidding? Are you guys trying to make me cry here? Like, I will cry. I don't care anymore. I'll fucking cry. Let's have a listen. Wait, it's a bootleg, but it doesn't say who did it. So, oh yeah, it does. Sorry, it's tacked. Okay. Okay, this is... I really like this kind of breakcore section. I would say that the vocals are about 100,000 times too quiet, but it's... I don't know how you're gonna make it much louder because there's a lot of real estate being taken up by everything else. What is going on with this? What's with that? There's like a... like, what? I don't know. There's something weird going on with the kick drum when it hits. It happened again over here. What is that? Now, I know there's a reverse kick, but it's almost like the side chain isn't like a swoop shape. You know what I mean? It's like... this is what it seems like to me. It seems like the side chain, instead of going down and coming up like this, it seems like it's going like this. Like, it seems square. It seems like a square side chain or something. It almost certainly has to do with the side chain. I love a lot of what's going on here, but the mix is a bit battered. I have no idea. Yeah, okay, so you got a lot of great stuff. There's no foreplay. That's an issue. The side chaining is a bit extreme, and maybe the shape is not right, and I don't know how you're doing it, but I feel like there's something off. The vocals are too quiet. Big time too quiet. You need to like introduce the ideas and get us ready, and then hit us with the hard style kind of. I'm sure I'm going to get shit on for saying hard style. It's probably not hard style, but it kind of is, though. It's kind of, it's hard style to me, just like I make techno to everybody else. Anyway, my thoughts are that vocals need to come up, more foreplay, more arrangement. Right now, it just kind of sounds like you're throwing some ideas out, which is fine, and that's probably where it's at in its journey to becoming a full thing. So work on the arrangement, and then whatever that is, it's very distracting. I don't know if it is just the straight up like a side chaining issue. It sounds more than that, because there's still side chaining going for the rest of it, but it's only at the start of the bars. Maybe it has something to do with the crash cymbal. I don't know, but I like this. I think that you need to keep going, and I think you need to at least start with those notes. Also, that might be the best note, is what Cody just said. There's stems for clarity. If the stems are available, like me, I put all my stems for all my songs on my Discord server, shameless plug, even though I don't really get anything out of it besides having you guys come and hang out with me in my Discord. If the stems are available, get them. Because, yeah, if you can use stems, that's almost always a better idea than a bootleg, because you could always just make a bootleg if you wanted to with the stems, but you also have the freedom of doing stuff with the stems as well. Okay, cool. That's what I got to say about that one. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I like where it's going. Keep those notes in mind and keep pushing forward. All right. This one's called Surprisingly, I Play Drums. Cryotest sending in a double submission. This guy's very bad for that, but we'll listen to it anyway because his stuff is good. Jesus Christ. That was like one big drum solo. Those fucking rat-a-tat-tats. That's definitely going to get you some side-eye fucking stank face from the drummers in the crowd for sure. You're a great drummer. The drums are very transient-y. I feel like I'm going to get paper cuts inside of my ears by listening to them. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but everything sounded like a modified hi-hat kind of. So whatever kind of compression you're doing or whatever is causing, like, we're talking like each transient consists of about 13 samples, and then it goes down to nothing. The drums don't sound bad, but like they're too clicky. I like the click, but it's like all we're hearing is the click. So if you want feedback on the way the drums sound, I would say you need more body to the drums. There needs to be more sustain. There needs to be more of a balance between the transients and the body and the tone of the drums. Right now, it's just like pure transient, which kind of helps it cut through on top of the track that you're playing. But at the same time, yeah, I think, I don't know if you recorded the drums, if you played like an electronic kit or how exactly you got this audio to exist on my hard drive, but it exists now on my hard drive and I'm listening to it and I'm telling you that I think the transients they sound good, but it's just all transient. Your drumming skills need no I don't have any notes. You're a great drummer, and this is great. It's cool to hear you make orchestral soundtrack kind of stuff and then fucking throw a wrench into the operation. You know what? It's people like you that need to just go fuck themselves. That you're just so good at everything. Like, leave some for the rest of us, maybe. Like, maybe leave some skill set for the rest of us. You don't have to take it all. You don't need to just hoard all of the skills, because I would like to have some, but it appears that you have absorbed most of the available skills in the world. So please just chill out a little bit. All right, moving on. We got Simulcats, Living Room Pop. All right. We got a couple little transients in this one too. Okay, I really enjoy this so far, but why are the vocals high-passed?
See you walking by a streak like on a pin, you'll meet my eyes. You'll meet my eyes. Eyes. I've told you that I want to know if this is real before I die. Before I die.
They kind of sound like they're like high-pass at like 1,000 hertz or something. Like,
I want to know if this is real before I die. Before I die. Brown eyes looking at you. Two guys looking at you. Can't help looking at you. Looking at you.
oh wait, are you saying two eyes or two guys?
Brown eyes looking at you. Two guys looking at you. Can't help looking at you. Looking at you. Looking at you. Realize I don't know who you.
It doesn't really sound bound past. Two guys looking at you. What are you trying to do, homie?
Looking at you, looking at you, looking at you. Realize I don't know who you are. Guys, beautiful view. Oh, guys, what do I do? What do I do? What do I? Yeah, I just caught a vibe in the classroom. Walked in late, eyes wide as I passed you. Hit a double take and I'm trying to play it off, boo. Fast forward, got a little close and you told me let's go. Told your man that you're busy and you wanna go slow. Think he's getting the impression you don't want him, no. So I'm gonna take a walk if you wanna lay low. I guess if you say so. Going outside and you jump on a great opportunity. I got my foot on the gas now. Man is a goofy, live in a gated community. Why he be sagging his pants now? Moving so moody and acting so broody. Keep blowing your phone up, I think he a groupie. Go post on his story, I'll flex in a toolie. But never suspect me if I'm a little fruity, yeah. Brown eyes looking at you. Two guys looking at you. Can't help looking at you. Looking at you, looking at you. Realize I don't know who you are. Skies, beautiful view. Oh, guys, what do I do? What do I do? What do I? And do you still got a roster? No, they're trying to get like me. It's true, there's plenty other fish, but you're the only one I see.
Okay, my biggest thought right now is this is fun and I love it, but the vocal filtering effects, I think that they are outstaying their welcome. In fact, I don't really know what you're trying to achieve. Like you got to ask yourself why. Why?
See you walking by, looking at you.
Like I get it. You were kind of like, it was like filtered and then it kind of dropped into what I think is the chorus here. And yes, you get the full vocal, but I don't know. I don't think it's really achieving anything. I think it's just making certain parts of the vocal too thin. Yeah, or just like certain lines, not like the full verse. Cause you got to think, like, I understand it's an effect, but it doesn't make this vocal sound good. It just makes the vocals sound thin. And yes, it's an effect, but I just don't think it's necessary. I think I'd rather just have the vocals sounding good all of the time. And if you need to like give it some sort of contrast between the verse and the chorus or whatever, sure, maybe there's ways of doing that. Maybe you do a single vocal take in the verse and then in the chorus you bring in doubles or harmonies and stuff. There's other ways to do it, but it kind of feels to me like you have the chorus quality of vocals and then you subtracted from the verse to give it that kind of step up in quality or energy, but really all you're doing is subtracting quality from the verse. So instead of doing it that way, instead of making the verse sound worse than the chorus, just make the chorus sound better than the verse. And that might sound like the same thing, but it's not. Make the verse sound good, make the chorus sound even better. It kind of sounds like you are doubling or you're using some sort of doubling thing. There's also something a little strange going on here. What's with the vocals? They're kind of cutting in it.
I just caught a vibe in the classroom. Walked in late, eyes wide as I passed you. Hit a double take and I'm trying to play it off, boo. Fast forward, got a little close and you told me let's go. Told your man that you're busy and you wanna go slow.
This is the type of beat that has the word Riz in it.
I guess if you say so, and outside and you jump on a great opportunity. I got my foot on the gas now. Man is a goofy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a noise filter. There's something going on, and maybe it's also happening in other parts of the song that we're not noticing. It's only more obvious here because it's kind of more isolated.
Yeah, I just caught a vibe in the class.
But it almost sounds like a bad connection on like a mic cord or something. Anyway, let's keep going.
I'm a little fruity, yeah. Brown eyes looking at you. Two guys looking at you. Can't help looking at you, looking at you, looking at you. Realize.
The chorus is great. The melody's great. The words are great. I don't really understand the two guys thing. Kind of sounds like some sort of alternative lifestyle choice.
What do I and do? You still got a roster. No, they're trying to get like me. It's true. There's plenty other fish, but you're the only one I see. And do I can see you start to realize I'm.
Or I guess maybe it's like two people competing for the same woman.
Realize I'm the.
It's a love triangle thing. Okay.
Realize I'm the only one you need. Just you and you and you. See you walking by your streak like on.
Oh, there it is again. There it is. Listen.
See you walking by your streak like your streak like.
Ah, it's a D. I'm so positive that it's a de-esser that's just working way too hard because it was the S.
Your streak like on a.
It's probably a de-esser that's not working properly. That was not set up properly. That's my guess.
Your streak like on a pin. You'll meet my eyes. You'll meet my eyes. I told you that I want to.
But then I don't know because there's other S's that aren't getting fucked.
I told you that I want to know if this is real before I die. Before I die. Brown eyes looking at you. Two guys looking at you. Can't help looking at you. Looking at you. Looking at you. Realize I don't know who you are. Nice, beautiful view.
I also kind of find it's a bit sub heavy. So when like,
What do I do? What do I do?
is it a cute triangle? Okay. Sorry, Cody. I didn't mean to steal your thunder on that one. Yeah, I feel like I definitely feel like the sub is a bit overwhelming.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, the sub's a bit loud. The biggest problem I have with this though is that the vocals just are too they're too affected almost, I think. I would rather just hear a nice sounding vocal. It doesn't need to be all crazy. The chorus doesn't bother me so much. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I think it's a fun track. I enjoyed listening to it. Thank you. All right, moving on. We got another shorty by 720. Dial up. Oh God, I wonder if there's gonna be some dial up internet sounds. Let's have a listen. This is sick. I actually really love this. Again, this is a common theme for 720. Absolutely sick drop. Where's the song? You know? And honestly, I think what you should do is just like on Monday or Tuesday, come out to the studio and you and I can make this into a song because I love this. And I think that we could definitely collab, bro. It's sick. It's like the only thoughts that I have on it are that like, where's the song? That's it. The sound of the drop. It, you know, like I would do a few things slightly different, but that comes down to taste. There's nothing objectively wrong. Not that there's ever anything objectively wrong most of the time, but yeah, it sounds dope. It just needs to be a song. That's it. I'm gonna listen to it one more time, but only purely for my own enjoyment, and then we're gonna move on. I love this. This sound right here. I love that sound. All right, whatever. Those are my thoughts. I think it's sick. Make it into a song, with or without me. Okay. Here we go. Still got that watch? Yeah. Why wouldn't I have the watch? I'll always have this watch. I was actually thinking about buying a second one of these so that I could like keep it in a safe or something so that in case this one breaks, I don't know. I just feel like at some point I won't be able to buy this again, and if something happened, I would hate myself. What's up? This is the Fowler, yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. Carly, DSM Carly? Carly. I think that's the only Carly I know, DSM Carly. Anyway, cool. Okay. Welcome to my other stuff besides cars. All right, let's have a listen to Nemkai, Break Free instrumental demo. Let's see what he was doing. Oh yeah, Carly, Cat Attack has yours is yours a 90, yours a 91? 91 Talon? 91 Eclipse? I should know this. $93, thank you. Carly's is a 97. No, I knew what yours was. I just couldn't remember what Cat's was. Okay, so Nemkai. I love the chords. I like the sound design. Unless there's going to be vocals or something, I'm pretty much kind of at the end of my patience at this point. This is honestly sick, but it needs vocals or something, right? And I'm sure you're aware of that. Cody, my BMW has speakers, and they sound good. fuck? Something's going on with... Wow! My FL crashed, and now we get to see my square... What? Okay. 1 second, please. Oh, no. I was in the middle of... Okay. One moment, please. I guess we might as well talk about DSMs now. I think this is the first time my FL has ever crashed during a stream. So I'm not going to hold it against them, but I am a little peeved. Oh, no. Hold on a sec. Ah. There we go. Okay, we're good now. Except I need to load all those songs back in because I don't think I saved it. No, shit. 1 second. Well, I'm going to have to figure out which ones I did, but whatever. It's no big deal. I've figured out worse things before. Did I open up the right one? Yeah, okay. Where were we? We were in Nemkai, right? Nemkai. All right, let's keep going. Oh my god, Aiden, that's the best idea you've ever had. Now I gotta remember where it is. Welcome to the nightmare of my FL folders. Data, FL Studio, projects, backup. Oh my god, Aiden, you're a genius. Imagine it crashed again though. And oh my god, verbatim, you're a genius too. I'm such a poser. Okay, this is what I think so far. This track, the melodic intro and stuff is great. It needs vocals, obviously, or melody or something. It sounds like it is the sound stage for something, and there's nothing on the stage. The drum and bass part is also great. I think it obviously what I'm doing here with the mastering, it needs that because it's not quite loud or powerful enough. But the transition between the two sections is not exactly smooth. Like maybe just low past that, like when that's coming in with the real distorted bass, something else needs to happen, you know? Oh shit, I have it on mid side. 1 sec. There we go. And I'm not saying low pass the whole track. I'm just saying that real distorted bass sound just kind of comes out of nowhere and fucking slaps us in the face. And I do think that these two sections will work together, but the way that you've introduced the aggressive sounds is a bit abrupt. I also think your snare is maybe a little bit buried. There's something weird going on in the bass here. That ba-da-da-ba-da-da-da. What is that? Is that like a drum loop that's low passed or something? There's something weird in the bottom end during this section that's kind of like muddy. I'm a sucker for chiptune shit, so you got me there. again, we need vocals or something. Yeah, this is sick, man. I think it needs a little massaging. I think it needs either vocals or more melodic elements or something, because like you've got really nice chords and sounds and stuff, but there's nothing really for me to attach myself to in terms of an idea or a motif. So I would maybe go outside and steal a vocalist. Just steal them. There's plenty of them out there. They're usually just hanging around light posts looking for cigarette butts on the ground, and bring them inside and they will sing. That's all they do. They just sing. That's basically their entire purpose in life, is to sing. So you just basically put a set of headphones on them. You don't even really need to know their name. Put a microphone in front of them, play the song, and they'll just sing. And it's great. It's so easy. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. Okay. Yeah. And then get more aggressive with your mastering. This is drum and bass. It's not like you're not making folk music here, you know? So get more aggressive. Do some multi-band compression to get each frequency range kind of under control. And then see how hard you can hit a limiter before it starts sounding like poop. Cool. Let's move on. We got Aiden Dodge, Rest of My Life Abandoned project. I don't know where the pause is. Is it the Rest of My Life Abandoned project, or is it Rest of My Life Abandoned project? We'll never know. We will never know, and that's okay. Let's have a listen. Man, the pitch bend on the piano is actually cool. Okay, so I don't know, abandoned project, like, are you planning on continuing this, or are we just beating a dead horse? I don't know if that's the right use of that saying, actually. But at any rate, let's have a think about what could make this better. I think that your bass bottom end is a mess. So if we just solo down here. So there's this theory that I have with kick drums, and that you either have a short kick and then a bass line, or a long kick and it kind of is the bass line, right? Because if you have this long trailing thung, 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 it doesn't leave any room for the bass to exist. And that's what's going on right now. So you have this long tail, like it's at least this long. The kick drum tail is this long. I saw a picture of somebody with a measuring tape up against a kick drum sample today on the screen, which is cool. Anyway, you've got this long kick drum, and then you also have a bass line that's competing with it. That was a good joke, Kat. Well done. Yeah, it's almost like there is no bass line. I think all the stuff in the sub range sounds like it's the kick and maybe like a tom or something like that. The stock, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the 909 kick. You could just shorten it. Wow, I just did a whistle when I did the S. I think your use of the phaser thing is a bit abundant, overly so. It kind of sounds like a DJ that loves the phaser knob, you know? It's kind of, I don't know. You got to use that sort of stuff sparingly. Like master effects, you got to use that stuff very sparingly. Otherwise, it just draws so much attention to the effect itself that it kicks people out of the listening experience. Because it's like all we're hearing is like all I can do is like picture you twisting a knob on a mixer or something. Melodically and chord progression, it's great. It's solid. It's just, I feel like the biggest issue here is the bottom end and the kick drum and bass line and how they're interacting with each other. So in a situation like this, what I would do is solo just the kick and the bass elements and make sure that they're working well. Make sure that they got a good groove. The side chain is pumping just right so that the bass is coming up when the kick is going down, and et cetera, et cetera. I think that's the biggest problem with this. And I like the piano pitch bend, but the piano sound, it just kind of sounds like a generic piano. And now that we can hear like in Apache song, he had 808 with a sub and basically no sub for the basses. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds, like there's no one way to do any of this, right? But you gotta understand the theory behind why people typically do things the way they do them. There's not a lot of room down in the sub range. If you go from one note to the next, it could be 10 hertz, right? So there's very little room for more than one thing to exist at any given time. So you could get creative and maybe you pull the fundamental frequency out of the bass synth and then allow the 808 to just trail off, and the bass is more of like a mid bass, almost like a lead sound. But in this, there's another issue that I'm noticing here now that I can hear the bass almost by itself, is that you're doing like an octave thing and it's spending most of its time in its upper octave. If you listen, if you listen to the notes that it's playing, it's almost like an octave too high. But every once in a while, it goes down an octave and we get like a burst of sub, and it just feels a little flibbity-flabbity flop, you know? Like it's just a little too inconsistent. And that's where sub separation, cutting the bottom end out of your bass and replacing it with something that we know is going to be fucking rock solid no matter what, and making sure that that works with the kick drum as well. But if this is like an old abandoned project, you probably just have to open it up and apply the skills that you've learned since then, because I think that you've done a better job at sub separation in other tracks that you've sent. It also kind of feels like when we listen to the stereo field, it sounds like all the elements are either 100% mono or 100% stereo. Like it doesn't really sound like there's a whole lot of use of the spectrum of the stereo field. It's almost like that lead sound is super wide and then the rest of the track is kind of mono. Anyway, these are all thoughts that I have. I think you just open it up and apply what you've learned since you've made this, and you're going to be a lot further ahead. All right, thanks for sending. Let's move on. We got Multi Fox, Mansion in Trance. Mansion in Trance. Okay, here we go. I'm so sorry. Oh, wait. Hold on a sec. I think I might have done that on purpose. Did I? Or was I doing? Please tell me I didn't accidentally. Hold on. I did it on purpose. Sorry. I thought I left mastering effects on from the last song. Disregard. Let's keep going. Okay, I like where this went. Actually, oh dude, this sounds like fucking Donkey Kong. This sounds like the Donkey Kong country song. Down, 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 down. And it's got the ooh, ah, ah, thing in it. Down, 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 down. Dude, is this a cover? Sorry, my camera died because I opened Chrome for some reason. I don't know why that happens, but give it a sec. It should come back on, I hope, maybe. Let's keep listening while I figure out my camera, because I need to find this Donkey Kong country song. All right. Donkey Kong Country main song. It's like the first when you go into like the first level. Not that one. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but you... It's not even kind of the same, but it did remind me of it. Anyway, there was a sound in here that wasn't in the right key. Cody, I used to use that on my BlackBerry Torch back in like 2010. Okay, so you're playing, let's figure this out. You're playing C, which is a challenging key to write this style of music in, so good luck. That's tough. Yeah, but then okay, so that lo-fi kind of bit crushed sound is playing an A, right? And that doesn't work. You got to shift it 1, 2, 3. You got to put it up 3 semitones, and then it'll be in the right tempo. All right, let's keep going. I love the 303. The 303 loves me. Ah, see, it just came in there and it sounds so wrong because it's playing the wrong note. It's playing the note that you go to because you kind of go, Jesus, sorry. You kind of go between a C and an A, like for the chord structure, but the sound is playing the A when the rest of the song is playing the C. So that like distorted bit crush sound is playing the wrong note. I also do think that the kick drum could be longer. I think Kat mentioned that, or somebody mentioned it. I do think that that's the case. There's a lot of empty room in this track. Like, look at all of this unused, and I'm not saying it should be a total fucking sausage, but this is a little anemic when it comes to like all of this, like missing RMS, you could say, missing loudness, all of this, and you don't need to fill it all up, but this is all unused real estate that's, you know, not to mention the headroom, this right here. This is all unused loudness that could be there. And for this style of music, we want it to be loud. We don't need to decimate the entire waveform and have it a fucking entire 100% brick, but you could have it kind of shaped more like, or like this. And that is a mixture of the mastering, but I think it's mostly the fact that your kick and your bass notes are so short. They're just kind of like, they're like getting in and getting out, they're like fucking Navy SEALs. They're slipping into the mix and they're slipping out before even anybody noticed. But again, I would like to take this opportunity to commend you for doing a great job, because Lord knows this is miles above the stuff that you have sent in the past. I love hearing people get better, and I not that I'm to take credit for that. I'm sure that I help a little bit, but I love watching producers progress and get better. This is much better than everything you send in is always better. That's going in the right direction. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. All right, cool. Thank you for sending. Let's keep going. We got chord test ping. Here we go. Oh, it's this one. Okay, here we go. This kind of like, you know what you might want to listen to for a reference? Flat Beat by Mr. Oizio or whatever it's called. That might be, it's not really the same style, but it could give you some ideas because it's very wonky, and this is a very wonky track. I would still be making rancid fourth chords. That's funny. Liminal pool image that calculated a while. Remember that liminal pool image that circulated a while? No, I don't remind that. Kat, can you recreate it with ASCII in the text chat for me?
Every time I find myself in this place.
You know what this reminds me? This kind of reminds me of like an indie game. Like a really unique, strange one-off indie game from itch.io. Okay, let's keep going. I think these sections could have some sort of percussive element, something to kind of liven it up a bit. It almost feels like I like the stuff that's there, but there's not quite enough to keep me interested to listen. This is by far the coolest fucking part of this song. This is sick. You should use this instead of the first part. Yeah, this is so cool. This is, in my opinion, this is way cooler than the first drop or the first section. Fit the tempo, 120. Okay, here we go. I think that this with like a bit better of a snare. Like maybe just a little bit better drum samples. I like what's there, but like as a layer, right? So like let's just pick some random. Let's try this one. I don't know. Ooh, that's kind of cool too. Maybe we do a little garagey thing, you know? And then maybe if you think about what you have for top drums, you just have a hi-hat. That's it, right? So like what if there was like a, I don't know, like a hip hop beat or something else? What do I got that might work? Oh, fuck. Sure, why not? Just picking random shit until something sounds right. Yeah, like all of a sudden now this is like see, like all of a sudden, I'm not suggesting you don't embrace the minimal part of it, but at the same time, I do think that it needs more. And this sounds more exciting to me. I don't think that these are the right sounds, but it sounds more exciting to me. Anyway, you get my idea. I think this is sick, but I think that this part is so much better for whatever reason. I think it's so much better because it's more developed. Like you made this when you first started the song, then you did a bunch of shit, got a lot better, learned what the song was all about and got more excited and created a better part. So maybe you should base the first part off of this part too and just add some variation. That's what I think about it. Thank you for sending. Okay, bye. All right, next up we got cat batum, like cat and verbatim. Are you fucking serious? Is that what that is? Okay, anyway, whatever. Let me unmaster this before I ruin everybody's day. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, definitely not color cyberfunk. Okay, that's a new genre that I was unaware of. Here we go. I agree with Cody. Let's do this. If you go where what is it? Free sound. Let's go to free sound and oh, I guess you can't see that, can you? Let's type in lecture. Lecture, recording of a lecture. Okay. Okay. How do I wait? Oh, I have to log in. Okay. Here we go. I don't know what this lecture is about. What the fuck? Just let me download. Am I dumb?
Dan gaan we kijken wat.
I just want to download the sound. Oh. Oh, okay. I was in fact dumb. We're gonna throw it in there. Okay, here we go. Now you're gonna have to list me into that abomination of an artist name. I don't know how you're gonna fit me in there, but you gotta figure it out because I'm now a collaborator. Here we go.
In het master. Er staat 10 ECTS voor.
Dat houdt dat in
Als je dat rekenkundig
Het is natuurlijk klokuren. Het is natuurlijk nog om iets langer.
En stage gelopen.
I take it back. Don't list me as a collaborator. I don't know what I'm doing. It sounded terrible. Anyway, let's keep going. I have thoughts. Specimen 54083. I like that. Yeah, that's better. I guess I could just do that, couldn't I? But I'm not going to. But you could. But I won't. But I might. But oops. I don't know. Sometimes my brain does things and I don't really understand it. Okay, so the drums. The drums are so far back. Like the kick, maybe it's just the snare. The snare just feels like a gentle little, like instead of slapping me in the face, it's just kind of rubbing its hand down my face. Like that's the best I can do to explain that thought that I had. Let's just see what tempo is this bastard. Why did I sound like that? I don't know. 54.201. So close. Oh, I guess I'm just gonna. It's probably like 100, isn't it? Let's try 100. Maybe 110. I don't know. It sounds kind of 100. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's find the drop. I think I'm on. There we go. Okay. Now we're on the grid. Let's have a listen. Let's just try a couple snares and see what happens. I just think the snare is so buried that it takes away from the energy. It doesn't feel as aggressive. Okay, let's try a different snare folder. I'm not liking these snares very much. Let's go to drum damage, and I think it's number 17 or 19 or 27. Let's try 17. Let's try 19. Let's try 27. Let's try 17. Fuck, it's 28. There you go. That's the numb snare. I couldn't remember the number. The number. Yeah, it's just the snare just needs to be like this one is in the back and covered in reverb, and that doesn't really lend itself well to like hitting us hard, right? Yeah, I think that's going to help a lot. I think having a snare that is definitely very, very high up in the mix, because this genre, the snare is very important, you know? I love how industry is here when Cody made that reference. Do I hear a Fowler fucked loop in there? Oh, I missed the key change. Chord change. Okay, so I still like honestly, I just think that a snare would make it so much better because it kind of right now it's kind of sounding like a almost like classic kind of synth wave, like something that actually came out of like the 80s. It doesn't have that modern feel. And it's kind of swimming in sub bass too. It's so I think the snare and maybe just the overall amount of reverb being used in general might be a little high, at least for my taste. If you're going for that classic kind of dark synth wave, then that's fine. But if you're going for like mid-tempo, more modern version of that, then you're gonna need to make things a little tighter, a little more edgy and less smoothed out with like reverb and stuff. And that snare definitely has to cut through the mix more. Really? Ugh. Wow. Nice. Very well done. Cool track though. I think it could use a little more definition and a little bit more edge. All right, and right into another Cat Attack one. Here we go. Cat Attack and We Are One, Ghost of the Northern District. What the fuck? Is this like a, what's it called? A utopian future where ghosts are DLCs and you can become? Do I rate beats? No, I just listen to them and give them my thoughts. I don't give them like a certified Fowler score. This gets a 7 out of 10. Okay, let's check that out then. So I'm assuming you're gonna take out the Tarkov stuff. Okay, where was I? This is sick. This part is like 50 Shades of Grey volume 18. So I think like this, I love the juxtaposition of the rhythm where we expect a certain thing, but we get a different thing with the drums. That's sick. I think that this part is underdeveloped. You can't just tease us with a little bit of that and then drop out. We didn't earn this dropout yet. You gotta keep going. Bring it up, bring in more hats, bring in more elements, make it fucking even more epic. It's the beginning of something. It's the beginning of something epic, and it's not quite developed enough in this section. You know, like we waited so long for that section, which I will say I think I'd like it if it did this. If the energy had a bit more of a taper to it, you know, to let us know that that was going to happen. Because if we're not looking at the waveform, we have no idea, right? And sometimes a surprise can be a good thing, but sometimes the anticipation is half of the fun. So I think having just a little bit more, however you want to do that, with effects, with filtering, whatever, it just needs to, blah, 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 blah. It needs to just build up a little bit more so that there's a bit of anticipation building. And then we finally get into the, you know, the girls getting spanked with a belt or whatever happens in 50 Shades of Grey, and this is the song that's playing. And then the other thing that would happen is if we lived in this space a little bit longer, we would be willing to live in this space a little bit longer. I almost feel, it's not that I feel bored, but we lived through 440 to, we lived through like 2.5 minutes of slow, low grind, slow build. We're living through 2.5 minutes of that. And then we get to this, finally we get to the crescendo and something's happening and there's a release and there's something happening, but it only happens for 6, 12, less than a minute, about 30, 40 seconds maybe. And then we go back to the slow grind. And if we got out of that slow grind for a little bit longer, then we would be more willing to live through the slow grind for longer after this beat section happens. Okay, let's keep going. Cody, who did you reference? I didn't see that. I love the sound of this guitar. I don't know how exactly you did it. It almost sounds like it sounds like parallel processing. It sounds like it's got a dry like acoustic guitar signal and then another one that goes through like a distorted amp or something. I love this guitar. So, okay, final thoughts. I love everything that's in here, but it's just a bit too slow of a burn. Even though I'm aware that it's supposed to be a slow burn, it's just a little too slow of a burn, in my opinion. I think that you can still capture a lot of this mood and a lot of this atmosphere, but you can make the storyline move along a little bit at a slightly higher pace. And then once you get to this crazy section, the 50 Shades of Grey section, I mean, right now you got about 25 Shades of Grey, and we need 50 Shades of Grey, so you're going to have to at least double it. I don't know math that well, so I don't know what 25 doubled is. I'm pretty sure it's close to 50, though. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thanks for sending. Very cool. Moving on. What do we got? Unknown artist. Okay. When the Sun Sets. Extended mix number 2. All right. I guess extended mix number 1 wasn't long enough, maybe. Let me there we go. There we go. So this is great. I think it's lacking sub. There was only a few moments where I felt like, ooh, there's some sub. Like right there. Like that's nice and deep. But during the part with the drums, I'm not feeling a whole lot of sub bass. Like I could even probably, let's see what happens if I do this. B. Don't write a dance track in the key of B. There's no good octave. That you've set yourself up for a challenge at the very least. I don't need the tempo. I'm not going to do drum stuff. I just think that the sub bass is not coming through. I would keep everything you got, high pass whatever basses you have, and then put in a sine wave sub bass. B over G it is then. Okay, musician. And I know that like you're doing like the octave thing with the bass, and that's fine. But what you can do is do the octave thing with your mid-range bass and keep the sub bass just providing that solid bass, that solid bottom end. Didn't say anything about the auto tune. I think the vocals sound cool. Are they you? I don't have any issues with the vocals besides I don't understand anything they're saying. They just kind of sound like they're like an instrument almost. Well, that's cool, man. I think it sounds good. If you want us to understand the words, you're gonna have to change it, I think, because I don't understand the words. But the whole track just kind of feels like it's slightly high passed. Like even the kick doesn't have a lot of sub bass to it, right? And that's an issue for bass music. So I would go back and for the most part, I think all you're gonna have to do is figure out how to make the kick have more of a sub range to it, and then add in a sub bass that's just a straight up sub bass, whether it's a sine wave or a filtered square wave or whatever. Make sure that bottom end is there and solid, and you can lean on it. You know, it's not phasing in and out. It's not going up and down in octaves. Sometimes that's okay, but in this track, I think just having a solid like having those just in between the, filling in between the kick drum. I mean, there's constant 20 hertz high pass automation. I don't know what the fuck that means, but 20 hertz is pretty low. So I can do those rises. I doubt that's the problem. I think it's the kick drum sound, or maybe the processing on the kick drum. If you're, I think you write in Ableton. There's a way to turn on and off EQs. You could turn the EQ off when you're not using it, and then turn it on, or like do the mix. So like when you're not doing the high pass on the master or whatever, you can turn the mix of the EQ all the way off, and then only engage the EQ when you're using it. And then when it goes back down, you're not using it, turn the EQ back off again. That's typically what I would do. But yeah, sub bass, sub. That's mostly what I got to say about this one. All right. Where are we at? Old school. Oh, wait, was that it? All these are just shit that I threw in here. I think that might be it. Let's see. Oh my God, never mind. There's 4 more that have come in. I don't know. Oh my God, there's 4 more songs. What are we ever going to do? Baby Again Techno. All right, let's hear. And Techno Whip and Do Your Groove version 7. Nice. I've heard version 6 is the best, but it's a highly contested opinion. All right, let's listen to these 4 new tracks, and then we're going to be good to go. So we got Techno Whip. Okay, here we go. Let's close this. Let's do this. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, we got Techno Whip 2. Don't know who made this, but we're going to listen to it. And let me make sure that my mastering is off, because it's probably not. No, it's not. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, here we go. Let's check out Techno Whip by, I'm assuming, Real Techix. I can't. My chat is kind of too small. Hold on. Real Techlix. All right, here we go.
Please don't leave me on my own. Pack the bags and close the door. Don't try to the way alone. Was it all a dream?
This is fucking sick so far. I do have one note at this point. I think that the sub bass is not quite it. It has all the rumbles, but it doesn't have that like that nice full bottom end. There's something in the sub range, and I know it's a specific type of techno, and maybe this is a genre thing. I'm not 100% sure, but so here's the thing. There's lots of stuff happening in the bottom end. There's lots of stuff happening in the sub region, right? But it's not that na 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 na. It's not the note. It's just the techno rumble, you know? So what if it also had, and this is probably gonna be challenging for me to do because there's gonna be all kinds of phase fucking cancellation, but what if let's figure out what note it is. D sharp, all right. What if I just play D sharp on basically on a sine wave ish and see what happens? I'm gonna play it when it comes in. I'll try to time it right. See, it's so messy because it's adding to the rumbles. There's too much going on, but just having that D sharp down there in between the rumbles, that's going to be challenging to make it work in a technical sense, but I think it's going to really like all of a sudden now we're in it, you know? We feel like we've sunk into the sub. So we got some sub bass here. We have sub bass here in this section, which is nice. I don't know, man. I honestly think that if you can sneak in a nice sustained side-chained fundamental. Wait, you've kind of done it here. Okay, so I think that this is not rumbly enough. So this section's not rumbly enough, and this section is too rumbly. So maybe somewhere in between this and that is the magic. But this is sick either way. And there's also some great techno tracks that if I listened to it on the stream, I'd be like, you need to do this or do that. So, you know, feel free to tell me to go fuck myself. I will accept that. Even the kick drum in this section almost feels like it's been neutered in the sub range or something. Okay, so closing thoughts on this entire thing. I think you have almost everything right except the sub range. I think it's just the sub range. Everything else in this track, obviously I think I would probably keep it going a little bit longer, which is you're probably going to do that considering it's called a whip. But this, you've got so many things done correctly and in a great way. It's just that bottom end that requires some love, if you know what I mean. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Thanks for sending, and feel free to send in. I do this every week, every Friday. I'd love to hear more from you, so thank you. All right, moving on. Let's check out Relic by Wolven Gone. Here we go. I don't know about a frequency shifter. What I would probably do, I would probably high pass the rumbles and get that frequency just right, which is not going to be that hard because you're not moving around. You're playing just the tonic. You just keep playing the D sharp, right? So you're not going to have to chase around this moving frequency. You should be able to, if if you just solo the sub bass and the rumble, and you just sit there and you try to get that crossover frequency just right, because the rumble doesn't exist really in the sub bass. It's more of like a low mid, low end, not like super deep, right? And D sharp is pretty deep. I believe it's 85 hertz. I don't remember what it is. Anyway, getting that crossover frequency where you cut off the bottom end of the rumble, or maybe you just let the rumble and the bass thing fuck each other and maybe it sounds good. I don't know, but it's going to need to have that bottom fundamental. So you're going to have to, if I were you, I would solo just maybe the kick, the sub and the rumble, and just like put an hour into fucking just trying to make them work together in some way. Anyway, let's keep going. It's like throwing me off, not necessarily in a bad way, but the downbeat isn't where I would expect it to be. When the drums came in, I was like, oh, I guess that is the downbeat. Your bass note, so you got this arpeggio that's, oh shit. Let me pull up my trusty 3 oscillator here. I believe there is... Okay, so your arpeggio is playing like a F sharp, I think. Yeah, it's playing an F sharp, but the little offbeat sub note. Oh, I guess it is playing an F sharp. For some reason, when this first came in, that little sub hit sounded like the wrong note, but why does it sound wrong when it's not? Oh, maybe it should be a B. I don't know, there's something that's throwing me off about the interaction between your arpeggio and that little one note. Once it gets to like where the chord progression starts moving around, all of a sudden it starts to make more sense. Like that melodically sounds great. Leading up to that, it's not really doing anything for me. But when it gets to that section, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, this has a little bit of emotion in it. It's got there's some harmonic play happening. You know? This part is fucking dope. This part's amazing. The first part of the song does not do this justice. Like, if I heard the first part, to be honest, I probably would skip this song. Just if I was just listening to music, you know, and you know, maybe it's unfinished for sure. I'm not trying to shit on you by any means, but this part I would skip. This part. That part's great, honestly. I think your kick is a bit too transient-y. It's just kind of all transient. Seriously, dude, this might sound harsh. This is so good. This is so not that good. listen on some proper sense and think of help. It's not a mixed thing. It's that we listened for almost a minute before there was any real harmonic play, is the best way I can put it, like chords and notes that are playing off of chords and providing some sort of tension or emotional conveying. It's just leading up to this part, there just wasn't really a whole lot of value. It almost was serving as a metronome to get me to that part, if that makes sense, right? And I'm not saying that the stuff that is there now is bad. I'm just saying that it's not enough to really convey any sort of idea. It's just conveying a tempo and a key. And then you get to this spot, and then all of a sudden it's filled with emotion. Like, what's going on? Yeah, I agree with, let me make this larger so I can read, because the pixels and whatnot. I don't even know how to say that. I'm going to try. Joel Singjo. I agree. A long intro is okay, but you just got to put yourself in the position of a listener. When I hit play, I'm going to start listening. I mean, that's the intention anyway. Maybe I have it on mute by accident, but most of the time when I press play, the music's going to start playing and I'm going to start trying to figure out emotionally how am I identifying with this track? Is this track a track I'm listening to get me fucking pumped up for the hockey game and it's got a big guitar riff? Is there a piano and it's sad and I'm like, oh, okay, the song's sad. Like, I'm going to start trying to figure out what the song is about and what the song means to me. And if you ask yourself that question and you listen to the first full minute of this track, we got an arpeggio and the top end of a kick. And sure, the arpeggio is playing a chord structure and it's a minor chord and that conveys some information. But for the most part, I had to wait until a minute in to feel something or to get an idea of what this song is trying to do, what it's trying to add to the world. And there's no one, I can't just tell you do this and that and that's going to fix it. It's just, you have to understand that this is the problem. There's thousands of ways you can fix it, but I don't really think that the high pass kick drum is really doing anything except providing a metronome. It's like just straight up a metronome. Like right off the bat, I'm not saying this is a good intro here, but like, and for sure, you could string us along just playing the tonic for a little while, maybe 10, 15 seconds, and then bring in the chords and start moving things around. You can establish an atmosphere. But right off the bat, this is a way better intro because it's got chords, it's got complexity, there's emotion, Imagine this without the kick drum, because I don't think the kick drum's doing any. What are we, beat match? Or is this a DJ song? Like this kick drum isn't really doing a whole lot. I think this section would be better without the kick drum. Same here. I mean, like, the drums are just, I don't know. The drums are a little silly sounding, but the synth and the chords are not silly sounding. The chords and the synths they're portraying some pain and maybe some overcoming of challenges and some tension. But the drums are just kind of a little bit silly. I think maybe start over on the drums. I don't think they're really doing a whole lot. Also, you're clipping on the master, so careful on that. Like, imagine too, where it goes kick, 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 clap, kick, 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 clap, kick, 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 clap. That adds to kind of the drawn out feel of it as well. We don't get the clap on the 2 and the 4. And I agree again with Joe Lingio or whatever. I don't remember how his name was spelled or her name was spelled or their name was spelled. But musically, there's all kinds of great stuff happening. The drums are just, if I were you, save it as a new project and delete all of the drums. And I know that that's maybe harsh, and I probably wouldn't be as harsh if I didn't have so much good stuff to say about the melodic elements of this. But I definitely think the value in this piece of music is like these sections. The way that the arpeggio and the brooding kind of, the pitch bend and shit, all that is great. The drums are just not great. So, okay, that's what I got to say. I hope that helps. Sorry if that was convoluted and hard to understand, but those are my thoughts straight from my brain with no filter. Okay, what do we got? Baby Again Techno. Here we go. Okay, hear me out. In this section, what if you muted the delay or brought it way down or something? I'd like to hear the vocals a little more clearly. And it might be a cool contrast. Everything's like big and messy, and then and it's like babu gabu, babu babu, whatever he's saying or she's saying. I think that might be cool. I think you need effects. I think you have neglected the effects part of this process, which I understand. I fucking hate doing effects too. It feels like work most of the time. But I think you need some fucking psh. Okay. That was sick. That's a great start. Keep going. Yeah, I think just like effects and keep going. Those are my 2 notes. Great. Let's move on. We got Do Your Groove. It's quite the long one. Yeah, the low end in this one is fine, I think. I think the low end is fine. It's missing depth. It's missing a little bit of complexity. Because it during the drop sections, it felt very... I don't know. It's maybe not. But yeah, the sub bass is, wow, I feel like I just fucking scatted. The sub bass is good. It's fine. It sounds great. I think that you need effects. If for this style techno, there's all those like little ear candy percussive weird sounds that echo around and shit for all the hippies in the forest that are high on mushrooms. They love that stuff, so put a lot of that in there. Okay, here we go. We got Do Your Groove 7. Let's listen to this while I pull in the last few. I'm going to cut it off at Cody's track. The cymbals here got a little crunchy. I don't know what was going on there, but you might want to investigate. There's some technical issues happening due to technical reasons, causing the technical parts of the track to be technically, objectively incorrect. Yeah, well, I'm definitely thinking about you. So there's something lacking here, and I'm struggling to put my finger on it. It's almost like I keep thinking, oh, it's not enough stereo field, but then I listen to it and think about it, and then I'm like, oh no, there is enough stereo field. And then I'm like, oh, there's not enough high frequency, but then I listen to it and there's enough high frequency. There's like a life, there's a little bit of life missing. Oh, I think I know what it is. That bum, 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 that thing, it sounds like it should be in the stereo field a little bit. I think it sounds like it's got reverb or delay or both, but it's mono. So I wonder if that's maybe the issue. Maybe that bum, 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 that little plucky thing. What if you put it through some like stereo echo delay, something like that to spread it out a little bit. I don't know, everything kind of feels like it's like in this little ball, and I want it to be exploded out a little bit more. I do like this a lot though. It reminds me of like actual techno, like not like techno that's been brought into the mainstream. This reminds me more of like almost like a purist techno track. Oh, there's that cymbal. I think it's baked into the cymbal. What is that? Electro thought it would become more bassy. I don't think that is necessarily the way to go about it. I don't think this sound needs to be bassy. You've got like a thick bottom end, boy. I don't know why I added that at the end, but anyway, I don't think you need that sound to be super bassy. I think it needs to be Tony. So like, who's Tony? Tony the Tiger? They're great. Am I on crack? Maybe. Yeah, I don't think that needs to be bassy. I think it needs to be Tony. Fuck, toneful. Tonalicious, fergalicious, make those boys go loco. I think spreading that out into the stereo field is going to help a lot, because there's just something about it that like, it feels congested. I think congested is the best word I could think of for it. And I think taking something that clearly used to be stereo and forcing it into mono, I think that is the problem. Needs to be more Tony. Yeah, fucking Tony's the man. Well, he's the tiger, really, if we're being honest with ourselves. It's a sick track. I think more effects, pushing that thing out into the stereo field a little bit more, and then just, it's very repetitive, which is okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the way that you can make the repetitiveness, a little less repetitivity, is by adding little sound things here and there. Like I was saying about the previous track about the hippies on drugs, they need constant, interesting sounds echoing around in the stereo field to make them see sounds or hear colors or whatever however that works. So basically I would fix the cymbal. I would let that sound be stereo again, and then I would I'd spend like 2 hours just adding in cool little noises and fucking this, that, and the other little doodads for your hat. All right, cool. Moving on. Crunch Hammer. Crunch Hammer. That's interesting. Here we go. Okay, this is sick. This, I just want to show you a visual representation of what that bass line sounds like. So, you know, you play bass like this, right? But that bass player is playing it like this. So that bass player is definitely holding the bass up to the bottom of his chin. That's all I wanted to say about that part. Let's keep going. Although I will say that the sub bass kind of is fleeting. It kind of comes and goes. Thank you, Will, for the compliment. Like right there. Is it just too low, maybe? Whatever is happening, there's no sub bass in that moment. I think it's too low because when you play the low notes, there's no sub bass, and then you bring it up a few semitones, and all of a sudden the sub bass is there, right? So have fun figuring that out. There's many ways. Maybe push it up an octave, maybe shift the whole fucking song. I don't know, but you need sub bass. Is it 120 beats per minute too? Like the default setting for every DAW ever, 120 BPM in C major. I love the sound of the bass. It's like a dirty glitch hop slap bass. I love the sound of it, but the fact that the sub bass goes away and then comes back and goes away and comes back, it's weird. I would normally say yes, but I've already got 22 and I usually chop it at 20, and I have to pee and I'm hungry. So how about next week? You can send one more. Okay, this is what I think about this song so far. I don't know where the drop is. I don't know what part I'm supposed to be rocking out and which part I'm supposed to be getting ready to rock out, you know? I'm a little confused as to where I'm at in the track. I thought that this was kind of like that kind of sounds like it's supposed to be the drop, but then there's still like a bunch of stuff rising up. So in terms of the arrangement, it's a little confusing and doesn't hit hard. It sounds great. All the funky shit is funky shit, and everything that's there sounds cool. But the way that you delivered what was supposed to be the punchline you've diluted it. You've spread it across multiple measures, and I'm not really sure. Like, are we rocking out now, or are we still kind of like getting ready to rock out? And then this sound is a little too aggressive in this frequency range. What, 5,000 hertz, give or take? Yeah. Oh my God, I feel like somebody was poking me in the back of the head for the past 30 minutes, every half second poking me. And then when I dipped this down, they stopped. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this in the master. You should do it to that sound. I just think that sound has too much nasally kind of grit. Nasally grit. Oh, that reminds me of... Wait. Oh, great. Fucking... one sec. I'll bring my camera back online in a sec. There's a song from Stunt Race FX. It might not be this song, but because the same composer did it, he did a lot of those da-da-da, like that, those things. This is gonna fucking bring a tear to my eye. I have not listened to this in probably decades. Holy fuck, I gotta stop listening to this because I'm just gonna want to keep listening to the whole fucking thing. Anyway, I don't even know what my point was, but yeah. Okay, well, here we go. Oh, there's a little weird thing going on. What was that? Is that on purpose or is that like a compressor doing things? Yeah, I think like without necessarily listening to the entire track, because my back teeth are floating, if you know what I mean. Good question. It's been over a year. I think the biggest thing this suffers from is it just kind of goes. It just kind of keeps going, and I wouldn't say there's no distinguishing features of each section, the breakdowns, the build-ups, the drops, etc. But everything, it's kind of a little jam bandy, and maybe if that's what you're into, maybe you want to jam, and it's a jam. But at the same time, if you want that like, oh, we finally got to that yes moment, then you gotta make it a bit more clear. Tech showcase anyway. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, having fun with sound design is definitely not your weak point. You're great at doing all kinds of fun, funky shit. I think it's just a matter of carving out the sections a little bit more distinctively. Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's check out what'd you say? Yoles? Is this a silent J situation? Anyway, it's called Drum Roll. I'm going to go ahead and say that you need to do something else. We can't just listen to that for that long. So the intro can certainly be this long, but even just like an effect or another little shaker or something just to like give us something else to listen to. Have you sent this in before? Have I heard this before? It's sick, and I'm telling you right now that Jello would love this. Same thing here. There's nothing wrong, especially for like a techno track. There's nothing wrong with these big extended periods of repetitive stuff, but I'm gonna listen to it, but I'm assuming that I'm going to have the note that is there needs to be more going on to keep my attention. This is so dope. I do think that, I do think that there's not a lot of stereo action. In fact, dude, that's a fucking laser beam. Imagine if you put some of that stuff, like the hi-hats and the drums or more drums or something. Imagine if you put some stuff, it sounds so good and it's purely mono. So imagine how fucking incredible it's going to sound. Like you've crammed so much stuff straight up the middle that if you push some stuff around a little bit, holy fuck, the track is just gonna come to life. Also, you can see that so it's missing like a lot of top end, but maybe, hey, maybe the new elements that you're gonna add that you're gonna use in the stereo field, maybe they fill out the high end and we don't need to fucking do this in the master bus, you know? But yeah, like this is a sick techno track, honestly. It's dope. But like, why did we wait almost 2 minutes to hear what is arguably the best part of the track? Why isn't that in the intro somewhere? You know, like, why isn't that that's such an important part of the song and we had to wait 2 minutes to get there? That's unacceptable.
Instinctively drawn to women with big smiles. That's why I just can't let you down.
Yeah, I think what you have here is sick. You need to add to it. You need to investigate the stereo field as a possibility for your other sounds. You need to use these vocals earlier in the track. The vocals is what drives this track. Like obviously the drums are sick and they pound and they're great. But that vocal, that's what we relate to as humans. We hear a vocal, it says something, or maybe it doesn't say something, but this one does say something. And now we're thinking about what it said. And when you listen to the drum beat and you have whatever it just said in your head, all of a sudden there's more context and it paints a bigger picture. It tells a bigger story. So get those vocals in earlier and investigate the stereo field and bring some brightness into it. It sounds like something off an old vinyl, and maybe that's what you're going for, but I don't think that the lack of top end is necessarily a good thing. Yeah, basically. All right, cool. Let's listen to Cody's track, and then I'm gonna try to make it to a toilet before I pee myself. No guarantees. Let's just undo all this fucking shit. I still have the raw file. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. This would work in a DJ set for sure, right? Because now all of a sudden you're doing shit. Maybe you're mixing it with another track. You're throwing effects on it. You're doing fun stuff so it would work as a DJ tool as is. But if you can have something work as a DJ tool and be listenable as like a Spotify kind of track, that's the best of both worlds, especially if you don't need to sacrifice. It's not like you're sacrificing anything by making it more accessible to non-DJs. You know, you could if you went too far and you tried to like turn it into a 3-minute pop song, but there's stuff you can add that will allow a regular listener to enjoy it more, and it will still work as a DJ track. Whatever, that's what I think. Okay, here we go. Foison Aeolian. Okay, that's a musical word. Okay, I think this is sick. I do agree with Amps that everything feels very mono-ish. Let's just for shits and giggles. Especially the thing that stuck out to me is when you brought in all this crazy like all the drums and shit. They're all super mono and they're busy and they're noisy, and forcing all of that into the center section of the stereo field is it makes it congested. Yeah, that's like Cody. This is 100% mono. Was that on purpose? Maybe did it collapse to mono? Hey, it'll work good in the club. Holy fuck. Okay, where were we? That is a single pixel wide. If it could be 0 pixels wide, it would be, but it has to be at least 1 pixel wide. So yeah, maybe a little bit of room reverb. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I can already tell by looking at this that I'm going to hate this next 5 or 6 seconds. Okay, I also think that your drums are scooped. There's like a lot of like airiness and there's a lot of thump, but there's not like much like click or like transient. Like it's feeling like a like that kind of sound. I don't know what that sounded like over the microphone. Probably terrible, but anyway. Yeah, I think the drums need more transient and more mid range. They're very scooped. Dude, this is a sick track. I think you should change the name to aioli, like what Kaidia said about like the condiment, the aioli. I think you should change the name to aioli, fix the stereo issue, add some mid-range and transient to the drums, get rid of this fucking whatever this is called, and then put it out. I think it's sick. I would, and maybe find like a stupid little vocal thing that kind of, you know, drives some sort of point home. I don't know what the point is or even could be. But I think that if you found like some sort of like vocal dialogue thing and then you fix those issues, this would be a banger. And with that. That's that, and this is me. And this is my studio, and that's my guitar, and that's my guitar, and that's my bass, and that's my monitor, and that's my monitor, and that's my keyboard. Behind me, you will see the couch, which is housing my musical instruments, even though Aiden thought that was a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's a soft couch. I don't know what kind of damage it would do to my guitar. And I've been doing it that way for decades, and I won't stop, and I won't. I can't, and I won't. Anyway, I love all of you. Thank you for hanging out with me on Fridays. It's fun, and I enjoy doing it with you. That sounds kind of dirty, but it is the truth. Okay, have a good weekend. I love you. Bye. And the mic is still on. Oh, I turned the mic down way. Oh, now the mic's back up. Okay, so this is weird. I stopped the stream, but the stream is still going and I'm still talking, but there's no image on the screen. It's just a black screen. I can't even see